Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 3 of the Monday Morning Quarterback Show. I'm here, joined with, as always, my co-host Sean Olheim, and I'm Matt Cabral. Today, we have a pretty filled episode for you guys. First, we're going to recap Monday night's game last night between the Chiefs and the Commanders. Are the Chiefs the best team in football? How much trouble are the Commanders truly in for the now and the future? An updated look at the NFL playoff picture and who we think is going to get in at this current moment. I'm going to have Sean blind rank some NFL wide receivers, and we're going to get to our NFL midseason awards. Sean, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm excited. This is a first video where we kind of got a bunch of different segments. We're not just recapping games, so
Yeah.
it should be exciting. I know Matt's got some Patriots news to start stuff off, so I'll let him get into that because they made a few moves today, and I know he wants to get that out there.
Absolutely. And as you guys can see, brand new setting. You're going to be seeing this a lot over the next couple months here because me and Sean we are in school. In fact, before we get into this though, make sure you go drop Sean a follow on Twitter and on TikTok. Buffalo Banter posts amazing content, and me as well. Matt Cabral, Patriot Status, what have you, on also Twitter and TikTok. And Sean also has Instagram as well. Before we get into this, like Sean just said, Patriots, they made a lot of moves today, Sean. And for the crowd here, I'm gonna be yapping for a little bit here just because they are my team. So the first move today, they extended star cornerback and punt returner Marcus Jones to a 3-year extension. He was set to hit
star there.
He is, dude. He was set to hit the open market this offseason. And he earned his extension 100%. I actually called into the Patriots Unfiltered podcast on Patriots YouTube, and I asked them, like, who is Marcus Jones a true extension candidate at this point? Because we're getting to a point now where if you do want to bring him back, you can't let the guy hit the open market because he's going to get paid by a team that needs a nickel cornerback. And he's been one of the best players on the Patriots team as a whole this year. He's even covering guys that are just way bigger than him because, again, it's never been like a talent issue with him. It's just, unfortunately, the guy's 5'8", but he's been excellent this year and as a punt returner. And I would love to see them incorporate him on offense every once in a while like they did a couple years ago. But nonetheless, Marcus Jones earned that contract, 3-year, $36 million extension, which isn't a lot of money, especially when I get into one of the trades that the Patriots did make today. But Marcus Jones, good for him. I love him. He's one of my favorite players on the team. He's had an unbelievable season so far, and he's going to be a Patriot for the next 3 seasons after this year. It's really exciting. We have a stable, and now you have a cornerback room of Christian Gonzalez, Carlton Davis, and Marcus Jones locked up for the next 3 years. That's pretty exciting. So that's the first move. And then the next 2 are trades. I'm sure you guys saw my TikTok. The Patriots traded away 2 players today. One of them, longtime Patriot, the longest 10-year Patriot before he got traded, Kyle Duggar. They traded him in exchange for a 6th-round pick, and they gave up a 7th-round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm surprised they really got anything out of him, to be honest. And I don't love the return. It's a late-round pick swap. But again, you didn't fully get off his money. The Patriots are still paying him a good amount, but the contract got reworked that he set to the open market this offseason. So just get that money off your books. He's an old player. He's not the same guy he once was. He's been a great Patriot for 5 years, but he's not the same player. He was loved around here, but it was time to move on from a guy like him. And I think it was a good move by the Patriots just to get off of him. And it seems like Mike Vrabel's cleaning house with all these Bill Belichick regime guys, because the next trade, Mike Vrabel traded away 3rd-year player now, Keon White, edge rusher out of Georgia Tech, to the San Francisco 49ers for a 6th-round pick. Another guy Bill Belichick drafted. A lot of promise first 2 seasons. And even going into the summer, he had a lot of promise. But he just got outright beat out by Caleb Von Chase on this summer. And, Will Campbell was consistently winning reps against him, and he just kind of never turned back after that, or never found a role in this defense, should I say. Was out with like illnesses, got healthy scratched. And when he's been playing, he has not done he hasn't impacted the game one bit. He has zero finesse on the edge. He's a good interior player. And I think the Niners, definitely can. They were banking on his potential because he is a talented player if you play him in the right position. But just as a true edge rusher, he doesn't have enough finesse or enough technique to win consistently. And the game we saw him the most was against the Bills, and he was horrible. He did nothing that game. So the Patriots again rid of some of their own. And to me, this seems like they're gearing up to make a trade because Diana Rossini said the Patriots are going to sell away their older guys that they don't really, see a fit in the system. And it looks like they're going to be buyers for a few players. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to predict anything crazy. It could be a depth edge. I don't really think we need a receiver, but hey, if we get Chris Olave, I'd be fine with that. But those are the three moves that the Pats made today. Busy day for Mike Vrabel in the front office. On to the actual episode topics now. Recapping last night's game. Sean, I really thought the Commanders were gonna pull away with that one. 7.5. Mahomes was struggling through two picks. One of them was not really his fault. Kelsey just dropped it. But just like, what are your overall thoughts from that game? And we'll get into the questions building off from this, but just your overall quick thoughts from the game, really quick.
Yeah, going into the game, I had the Chiefs winning. 7.5. I was a little bit surprised just because it's the Chiefs at home. I wouldn't expect that close of a game heading into halftime. And Mahomes, I believe, I think he had like less than 100 yards and two interceptions at halftime, which, I mean, obviously, like you mentioned, one of those interceptions, Kelsey literally handed the ball right into the guy's hand.
He's done that a couple times this year. Yeah.
Was it maybe two or three times this year? I want to say two, but yeah, just second half, we saw classic Chiefs offense. Mahomes started rolling there. Kelsey was rolling again yesterday, one of his better games in a long time. Rashee Rice obviously had another great game. That wide receiver core, when they're fully healthy, is definitely scary.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs are definitely becoming one of the scarier teams in the NFL again, if they weren't already, which is not a good thing because everyone was starting to write them off, especially given their 1-2 start, and they just have not been, they haven't cared what anyone said. I mean, they've become one of the more dominant teams again, and this is definitely a team to look out for if people didn't need the warning already.
Yeah. It's definitely a nightmare because even during that Jaguars game, I know they lost, but you truly you saw the offense start to click that game consistently. And yeah, the Commanders, they played a nice half of football. Marcus Mariota had some moments, but the Chiefs took over in the second half. You just saw the better football team there. Patrick Mahomes ended out the game really well. The Commanders defense is not good. And Marcus Mariota just kind of came back down to earth. And these injuries have really derailed the Commanders season this year. It's unfortunate because of, how far they went last year. But Sean, my first question out of this, game, and I've been thinking this for a few weeks now, how much trouble do you think the Commanders are in for the now and the future? Because I don't think a lot of people really know this because they have Jaden Daniels, and you would, automatically think, oh, they're a young team, they got a bright future. They're by far the oldest team in the NFL. It's not even close, quite frankly. They have so many old defensive players. They got Marshawn Lattimore, who has been atrocious. He had a pick yesterday, but not a good throw by Mahomes. Bobby Wagner, he's still effective, but Frankie Louvu, they're an old football team. And with these injuries, it doesn't look like, and again, I'm not going to say the Commanders are in massive trouble. You have Jaden Daniels, so you have a piece to work around, right away. You have the most important position, but even Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel are old as well. Just Sean, as a roster, kind of taking Jaden Daniels out of the equation, how much trouble do you think this Commanders team truly is in, like I said, for the now and maybe even the near future?
A lot. Like, they have minimal run game. Krosky Merritt had 25 yards last night. I mean, Mariota was their leading rusher.
Yep.
You mentioned they're the oldest team. Like, outside of their running backs, like their whole offense is old. Like their offensive line, old. Receivers, old. Their defense, old. You got Frankie Louvu, Bobby Wagner, all those guys you already mentioned, Lattimore, they're all old. Like, you mentioned it before. We've talked about it before. Like, you see Daniels as like their leader, their quarterback. So you're like, oh, this is probably a young and upcoming team. It's like, no, this is an old football team. Like, they definitely need to get something from the fountain of youth there. But I don't think that Mariota can really lead this team to anything special. I mean,
No.
I even think last year was a little bit of a Cinderella run.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think that was an NFC Championship caliber team. I think Daniels just played out of his mind, and the Lions just choked that one game. But
Yeah.
I don't. And then obviously they got exposed by the Eagles. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see the same. I didn't see it last year where I was like, this is a playoff, or not playoff. This is a Super Bowl caliber team, and they're kind of proving it this year. I mean, they're 3-5. Like, it's just they're at risk of not even making the playoffs this year. And I know Daniels hasn't played. He's been out 2 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that just shows how valuable he is to them, but I'm just not
Yeah.
seeing the same team as last year.
No, Sean, I 100% agree. They don't have a run game. And it's pretty funny because when you hit on a franchise quarterback, you think, the next couple drafts, you can, take shots at, higher ceiling guys. No, these next couple drafts for Washington are huge because they need to get younger and they need to get younger fast, especially with, Jaden Daniels alone, because I'm going to be honest, outside of Jaden Daniels, I do not like the roster at all. I think, if you take out Jaden Daniels from that team, it's just a mediocre to below average team, especially next year. They are old. These players are aging. And I'm a little bit worried about the Commanders just overall. I do like their coaching staff a lot, so that will help. And the ownership's been a lot better, but the Commanders are definitely in need of some young talent on that team surrounding their, franchise quarterback in Jaden Daniels. And like you said, Sean, he was the sole reason that they did what they did last year, and some luck on their side. That was the worst Lions offensive performance we probably saw all year last year.
And their defense was depleted.
Jamison Williams threw a pick that game. Like that game was just a little ridiculous, but
yeah,
I'm not taking anything away from the run because you still made the NFC Championship. So like, it's obviously great, but a lot of that had to do with Jaden Daniels being, just an incredible rookie. But you also don't want to hurt his growth with an old team that just doesn't flow with him and just the speed of the game anymore. So big offseason for the Commanders. And I'm not saying the season's over yet, but the way the Eagles are playing and how tight how tight the NFC is, I don't know about the Commanders this year, man. Especially if Jaden's not back next week either. It's hard to recover. But on the flip side of things, Sean, are the Chiefs the best team in the NFL right now?
Not yet.
Okay.
I think they have the potential to be, and obviously they have the pedigree, they have the quarterback, they have the coach, they have all the weapons. Obviously, I think if they put it together for another, I'd say 4 or 5 games, and they win, 4 or 5 straight, you could put them up there. But I still think at the moment the Colts are the best team. I mean, it seems like every week they're just dominating their opponent. I can't put the Chiefs ahead of them this year just yet. But if the Chiefs keep playing how they are right now and don't get hurt, like they don't take any key injuries to anyone, they definitely have a chance to be up there. I think they're still the team to beat in the AFC in the playoffs as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving forward, they're definitely on track to be.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, unfortunately, Sean, I think they're right there. The Colts are playing the best because they're 7-1 and they're proving everyone wrong. But when it comes down to it, the Chiefs are still the team to beat, and they're heating up right now. Mahomes looks incredible this year, unfortunately, for NFL fans. I'm like trying to be as unbiased as possible, and I was obviously a Patriots fan with Brady and stuff, but Mahomes is definitely he's been unbelievable this year. And with getting Rashee Rice back, that was just huge for this offense.
And worthy too.
Exactly. But Rashee Rice is like a legit wide receiver 1. Kelsey's been, besides the drops, he's been pretty good this year again. Their defense has stepped up, although the Commanders' offense pretty bad without Jaden Daniels, like we just talked about them. But the Chiefs are still the team to beat in the AFC, as boring as it sounds. In the playoffs, especially, just the way that Mahomes is playing. And I know it's the boring pick and no one wants to hear it, but it seems like they're heating up right at the right time. They might have hit their slump in the beginning of the year, but it wouldn't surprise me if they, finish out the year with maybe 1 or 2 more losses because of how they're playing right now. And they have number 15 at quarterback. So that's the most, unfortunate part for the NFL.
I also
But
think if this team trades for a running back, like a guy like Brees Hall or Kamara,
yeah,
like say what you want about those guys, they become so much like those guys are both so much better than Pacheco, in my opinion. I know people love to hype up Pacheco just because of his story and the way he runs, but at the end of the day, he's not a great running back. Like
no,
the
no.
Chiefs' running game isn't good. So if they were to trade for a guy like Brees Hall, who in my opinion is a little bit overrated, but he's certainly a significant upgrade over Pacheco. If they get a guy like him, this team is just deadly.
Yeah, exactly. And Pacheco, like, he might be the worst starting running back in the NFL, like you said. Like, so even if they upgrade to average, I mean, that's scary because Mahomes is the leading rusher for this team, I believe, right now. He's been pretty damn good in that aspect of the game. But if you give this team any competent run game with this passing offense, it's not looking good. And
Yep.
especially with just the way they're coached and with 15 back there. But on to the next topic, Sean, kind of leading into that. We're going to look at the updated NFL playoff picture. Just where everything stands right now. I know we're only going into week 9 and, blah, 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 but let us have fun here, guys. All right. We're just
It's a
going to
midway point. I think it's fair.
exactly. Yeah. I think we can, at this point, you kind of get a grasp of where every team's at or where every team's heading. Like, for example, the Commanders are trending down and the Chiefs are trending up. That's honestly, a pretty good example of both, directions there. But Sean's going to read you guys the playoff picture and we're kind of just going to give our opinions on, where it's at and how we feel about the current matchups and who we think is going to be in and out at the end of the year.
Yeah, so in the AFC, 1 seed you got the Colts, 2 seed you got the Patriots, 3 seed you got the Broncos, the 4 seed is the Steelers, the 5 seed is the Bills, the 6 seed is the Chargers, and the 7 seed is the Chiefs. And then on the NFC side, you got the Packers in the 1 seed, the Eagles in the 2 seed, the Bucks in the 3 seed, the Seahawks in the 4, the Lions in the 5, the Rams in the 6, and the 49ers in the 7.
So, Sean, the main thing that sticks out to me right away in the AFC to start with, all the teams you listed, I think are all who are going to get in. The only one I could question is maybe Baltimore somehow turns up and wins that division
And I
because
think they do.
I agree
Honestly.
because Pittsburgh looks horrible. They're kind of, look at how we predicted them to at the beginning of the year. That Pittsburgh always hits a peak, right? Like last year they were like 10-3 at one point, I think. They lost like their last 4 games. They're 4-1 this year, and they just don't look good. They look boring. They look sluggish. Rodgers has looked pretty good. Got to give it to him. Their defense is not good. It's not. And that was supposed to be the strong suit. People were looking at that 3-headed monster with Slay, Ramsey, and Porter. Porter's been hurt. Slay looks old, and Ramsey, he's trending down, unfortunately, in zone coverage. He doesn't look as quick to get to the ball anymore. They're just an older unit. Cam Hayward's still awesome. TJ Watt, he's getting a little old. He's still a great player. But a lot of guys having down years from like even Patrick Queen having a pretty down year for them as well. And Peyton Wilson's been horrendous in coverage this year. So I think because like you got the teams on the outside, like Jacksonville. I don't think Jacksonville's a playoff team.
Same with the Texans and the Bengals. I don't see either of those teams really
Exactly.
turning
And
things
like
around.
if the Chiefs like do overtake the Broncos in the AFC West, the Broncos are still making the playoffs. I believe they're a very good team.
Yeah.
And same with the Bills and the Pats. Like if the Bills take over the number 1 spot in the AFC, it's like it wouldn't surprise me, but I do believe the Pats are still a playoff team this year, just with how they're playing and everything like that. But I guess the only one that stands out to me in the AFC is Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Because I know Cincinnati's still technically above Baltimore, but they just lost to the Jets. And
I also don't see Cincinnati turning things around without Joe Burrow. Like if they still
even with Joe Burrow, dude, it's like
I know, but if they had Joe Burrow, I could see like a glimmer of hope. But
yeah,
like I mean, Flacco, it's not like he's been bad. But
Sean, can I say something though?
Yeah.
They scored 38 points against the Jets. So Joe Burrow wouldn't help because
I know.
That wasn't a Joe Burrow problem. It's the same issues. The defense, it's just I don't even really it's pretty funny to say, to be honest, because it's just the same problems with that team every single year.
And they don't seem to improve it at all.
No, and it's just but yeah, to me, it's just Pittsburgh in that division. I think every other team kind of set in stone. Indy, I don't care if Indy comes back down to earth. They're 7-1. They would have to have a colossal collapse to not win that division.
I could see them slightly falling out of the 1 seed though.
No,
They
I
have
agree,
they have a tough schedule to finish on the
but
second half of
they're
the
gonna
year.
make the
Oh
playoffs
yeah,
though,
yeah,
is
no
my
doubt.
point.
I'm just saying like that 1 seed could get pretty competitive.
Yeah, but other than that, like the Chargers, they're getting healthier. Chiefs, we just talked about. Bills are going to be in there no matter what, obviously. And then Houston is the only other team I maybe look at if like the Chargers start to play us, but like the offense stinks. I know
I
they
don't
looked
know,
good last
man.
game,
Yeah.
and the problem is at this point in the season too, some teams have just dug themselves too big of a hole to climb out of. Like Baltimore, the problem with Baltimore is, Sean, if they lose one more game, their season's done. They literally can't lose for like the next 8 weeks or their season's over. Um, and they're luckily for them, their schedule is really easy, but I do think they're gonna win the division over Pittsburgh. I really do.
Yeah, I'm looking at CBS here, and they have their playoff probability at 57% still.
Yeah.
They have a 2-5 team at 57% to win the
What's
playoffs.
Pittsburgh's?
48. Like,
Yeah, so
I mean, it's understandable. Like, bro, getting Lamar back, like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna say they're gonna win out, but like there like it would surprise me if they lost more than 2 games the rest of the season.
I think
with Lamar back.
I think people forget too, though, Sean, is like they had major problems when Lamar was playing too, though. Like, I'm not saying like if the Ravens win the division, I think they're gonna be like 10-7 because their defense,
Yeah,
it's not gonna magically get better when Lamar comes back. I know they had a good game against the Bears, but like
that's fair.
it's not gonna magically get better when Lamar comes back. And just like the lack of weapons outside of Zay Flowers in the receiver room, and the coaching decisions have been questionable by Harbaugh this year. None of that stuff's gonna get better with Lamar. And I understand Lamar covers up a lot of that. He's like a band-aid on a lot of those things, but he's not a long-term, like he's not a solution for the defense. He can't play defense. So like I think if they win the division, they're gonna probably go 10-7, maybe even 9-8. But I do think Pittsburgh's really gonna collapse that much because I'm very low on them, especially because Sean, you just said their schedule it definitely heats up. I think they have a really tough game next week. I forget who they play.
I want to say it's the Rams.
Let me see.
Another thing, I just wanted to touch on Lamar one more time. Like, the Ravens kind of proved me wrong in a bad way.
They play the Colts. That's brutal.
The Colts play the Colts?
No, the Steelers play the Colts next week.
Oh, okay. So the Ravens kind of proved me wrong in a bad way because that was a team where I was like when people were arguing the Josh Allen versus Lamar MVP debate, like they were saying like the Bills would be much worse off than the Ravens would be without Lamar. The Ravens completely proved everyone wrong because that team is horrible.
Yeah.
Like outside of like they are playing very, very bad. And even when Lamar was playing, like obviously they weren't great, but they just got even worse without him, obviously. So
the defense was horrible without him.
Unless,
horrible with him.
And last year we saw their defense come on like in the second half of the year. So maybe there's a chance of that happening again, but it's not looking great at the moment on the defensive side.
I don't even really think it's just an injury thing though. I genuinely do think it's a personnel problem. Like the edge rushers are terrible. Mike Green had a nice game against Chicago, but the D line losing Matabike is tough. I think the secondary will be fine in the end of it, like with Hamilton and Starks. Starks he's just been getting picked on this year, unfortunately. Yeah. Me and Sean were pretty high on him, but Kyle Hamilton's one of the best players in the NFL. Marlon Humphrey, weirdly having not a good year when he's been healthy. He's getting old. Nate Wiggins he's just not that good. I'm just gonna be honest. He's just not that good. And then Jair Alexander, terrible.
Like people thought that he was gonna come in and just
well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I thought their secondary was gonna be unstoppable. I really did.
And I'm not saying that it wasn't fair to say that, but like the fact that he just came in and was just a liability. I mean, he was getting burnt by Keon Coleman. If that's happening, you have a problem.
Yeah,
Keon's not a separator.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. It wasn't like he was getting burnt by Keon Coleman on like contested catches. No, like okay, it's like you're getting juked out by Keon Coleman, brother. Like, so
I don't know, man. He's not the same player, obviously.
No, and I don't think Marlon Humphrey's still a good player, but he's definitely getting a little older. But I'd still rely on him in a crunch I don't think I rely on Jair Alexander. And Nate Wiggins, still a talented player. So I
It's
guess you
only
can
in his
give him
second year too.
exactly. So he still has time, but he also gets picked on at times a lot. But that's kind of my outlook for the AFC playoff picture. I think Baltimore ends up somehow sneaking in over Pittsburgh because that's just what Pittsburgh will do.
Yeah.
And other than that, though, it's kind of it. The bottom of the AFC is an absolute dumpster fire. Like the Browns, the Raiders, Miami, the Jets, Titans, like
It's just a bunch of
Cincinnati.
teams competing for the number 1 pick.
Yeah. Jets got their first win. We talked about that, but I mean,
doesn't matter.
No, they're pretty excited about that. All right, NFC. Onto the NFC playoff picture. I know Sean read it, but I'll just read it again. 1 seed Green Bay, 2 seed Philly, 3 seed Tampa, 4 seed Seattle, 5 seed Detroit, 6 seed Rams, and 7 seed San Francisco. This one's a lot more interesting, I feel like.
This one's a lot more I shouldn't say competitive, but I mean, you got the top 3 teams 5-1-1 and then 2 6-2 teams like actually I guess never mind, AFC is kind of the same way, but
yeah, but I feel like for example, the Lions Seahawks game, like that's a really good 4-5 matchup. Like that to me, like the Bills Steelers, dude, like the Bills should win
NFC
that game.
games, if this were the playoffs right now, these games feel like they would be more competitive than
actually. Yeah, we didn't even read them. We didn't even read the matchups. Hold on, let's go back to that real quick. Sorry, AFC, the matchups right now, like we're not gonna get like the bracket. We'll just say the first round.
Yeah.
Colts bye. Pats play the Chiefs at Gillette. That's a brutal matchup for the boys. I mean, God, can we get worse than that?
Yeah, that's
Denver plays the Chargers and the Steelers play the Bills. So those are the matchups right now. We're not going to really get into the bracket or anything, but just thoughts.
Dude. Okay, yeah, no, Chiefs. I have all the respect in the world for the Pats, dude. The Chiefs, I think, would handle the Pats.
That's
in a playoff game. That's such a horrible draw as a 2 seed.
Exactly, because like it's a young team. They're playing so good this year. They're like, the vibes are great, and then you realize you got the Chiefs at home, dude.
That's like, exactly why I would take the Chiefs. It's strictly like experience.
Yeah, exactly.
But like Broncos Chargers, that'd probably be a good game.
Yeah, I would probably take Denver though, because their crowd and it would be cool. And then Buffalo should handle Pittsburgh. Should handle Pittsburgh. I'm a little worried about that Bills defense.
They also should have beat the Falcons, and they didn't. So.
Yeah.
And NFC, then, dude, these matchups are really good, man.
Yeah, I think the Eagles kill the Niners just with the injuries. Just to the Niners.
The Bucks and the Rams. That would be an incredible game.
I would take the Rams in that game. I think Tampa's trending down a little bit.
I would too, but dude, that's such a good match.
Unbelievable game.
And then Seahawks Lions. Obviously, you already touched on that. That's a great game.
The matchups are definitely way more entertaining. In Green Bay with the bye, but the Rams as a 6 seed is also a horrible draw if you're top 3 seed, because Puka's hurt right now, so he'll be back, and it's just like
I don't think the Rams are. I don't know if the Rams will stay that low. I can
no. They'll win. They're gonna win. They're gonna win the division.
Yeah, but, just as it stands right now.
Just a little bit more on the NFC.
Matt, is there a world where the Bears crack the playoffs?
I was just gonna get into that, Sean. I was gonna say just getting into the NFC, dude. The Niners so banged up, and it's unfortunate because healthy, they're a playoff team, but Bosa, Warner, Pearsall, like Ayuk, like everybody is hurt on that team. It's
only a matter of time for McCaffrey too.
Exactly. Yeah, it's due. So, but Sean, the thing is, dude, you look at the teams that are out, and it's like I do not like how the Bears have been playing. I know they've been winning. Caleb, he's been struggling, dude. We talked about this.
They're streaky.
If you guys want to go check out our last podcast, we talked about Caleb. They're very streaky. Carolina, I know they're not a playoff team.
The Ravens game for the Bears was a must-win against a backup quarterback, and they lost. They could be 5-2 right now and be in the playoffs. Yep.
And I think the only team I give some sort of chance to is maybe Minnesota if JJ McCarthy figures it out, because the defense is still really good. They have really good coaching, and they have the personnel on offense. But I don't know if JJ McCarthy's just going to magically turn around and be like,
I don't see it, man.
I don't really either.
I think he's played one good quarter of football. I don't think he's going to put together.
And again, he's only played 2 games, but like you see him. I understand he was just coming back from an injury, but like the kid is on the sideline, ready to play, not playing. That's kind of says something. And also, as
Well,
soon
his
as
backup's playing with a
I
what?
was gonna say,
His like labrum was like torn off his
yo,
body.
and it's not. It's also not good when the report comes out as like right after the Carson Wentz report comes out. Minnesota's already looking to add veteran quarterback help. So I understand you want a veteran in the room, but that kind of hints at I don't know if they really fully trust JJ yet. And let's be honest here, Sean. JJ McCarthy might not be more than a game manager in his career, which in
Yeah.
that system is like okay, but it's like you kind of want your franchise quarterback to be drafted number 10 overall to
I was gonna say,
elevate.
especially that high, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just he might just be a game manager. And again, he's played 2 games, but the injuries have already been a massive issue. And when he has played, besides that fourth quarter, which he somehow won NFC Offensive Player of the Week on, he just hasn't looked good. So I guess Minnesota, if JJ can manage the game and the defense can play a lot better and they can get healthier, because their O line's also hurt too. Um, Seems like Christian Darrisaw's hurt every single game. But
Sucks.
Washington, like we just talked
No.
about them, their roster is just old. And then obviously the teams below them have
We
no
don't need to
chance.
talk about the rest of them. Yeah.
Atlanta is the streakiest team in the NFL. I mean, I'm honestly a little worried about the Pats playing them next weekend, but that's for
They
Thursday
could
night.
have like a random,
Yeah,
like incredible game.
that's for a Thursday night talk. Make sure to tune into that when we have our pick'ems. But
Yeah.
but I guess like Dallas is off. Dallas's defense is just it's not good enough. Like it's like the Bengals all over again. You got Pickens and Lamb, Higgins and Chase, Burrow and Dak, and then terrible everything else.
They don't prioritize the defense. I mean,
Exactly. But wait. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Dallas have a player on defense or something like that?
I mean, dude, they said they wanted edge help. It's like they had it. It's like they had a guy that was
Yeah, I know.
there. Then
Even though, like, all jokes aside, like even with Micah, the defense god awful.
still wouldn't be good.
No, but it would
They would just
definitely
have
help.
a little bit more pass rush.
It's just funny because like they need help on literally every level. And the one thing Jerry Jones comes out and says is pass rush and run defense. And it's like,
Bro, you need help everywhere.
but it's like, dude, why is that the one thing you're coming out and saying you need help with when you just traded him away, dude? But whatever. We've talked about that enough. But Lions, Seahawks would be a good matchup. I think I would take Detroit in that game. Just better, more experience. Sam Darnold has not looked good in big games, unfortunately. The NFC, just the matchups look a lot more entertaining. And I think a lot, more surprises could happen because the AFC, it's kind of just straightforward, like who's going to make it at this point. But that's the updated playoff picture. On to our next topic here. I'm going to give Sean a blind ranking here. I'm sure you guys have seen these all over your For You page and whatnot. So, Sean, I'm going to give you a blind ranking for NFL wide receivers. These are kind of like breakout wide receivers, like just from this season. So, this is
you're doing 5, right?
Yes. This is the Monday Morning Quarterback Show's blind ranking 5 NFL wide receivers from this season. First name up.
A season only.
Yes. First name up, Kayshon Boutte.
I know he's been great as a deep threat option for May. I'm going to put him at 4, though. I could see you putting some better receivers on this list. And I know he's been reliable as a deep shot guy for May, but I'm going to throw him at 4 to start.
Next name up, Quentin Johnston.
Man. Silent on Thursday Night Football. Like, not a target, I don't believe.
Nope.
He's been good in previous weeks, though. I'll put him at 3, like slightly above Boutte.
Next name up, Wan'Dale Robinson.
God, you're not giving me great. You're not giving me the type of options I was expecting. He's been reliable for Dart. I don't know if I can put him above Johnston though. I'll throw him at 5. I can't put him above Johnston.
Next name
I don't like where this is going.
Next name up, JSN.
Okay, number one. He's played like the best wide receiver in the NFL this year, so I'm
Okay, so
completely fine
Sean,
with that. So I have
you ranked Kayshon Boutte at number 4,
Yep.
Quentin Johnson at number 3, Wan'Dale Robinson at number 5, Jackson Smith and Jigba at number 1, and your number 2 spot goes to Emeka Ibuka. I think you ranked it perfectly. I think
That's perfect.
I would argue Kayshon Boutte over Quentin Johnson, bro. I'm not even trying to be biased, but other than that, it's a perfect list. Like, really, it really is, because Quentin Johnson's also a first round pick.
I don't know. I also don't know what their like stats compared to each other are. I just know that Johnston's been been a lot better this year.
Let's look it up, Sean. And again, these stats like don't really all mean that much. Like, just like stats, like looking at like yards and everything. Quentin Johnson, 47 catches for 407 yards, and it just glitched on me. 47 catches, 407 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Kayshon Boutte, 30 catches, 431 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So pretty similar seasons, to be honest.
Johnson's just getting a little bit more targets.
Exactly, yeah. So again,
Boutte obviously way better in the deep game.
Yeah, but that was a perfect list. I got a little worried that you were gonna put Wan'Dale at number 2, and I'm like, please don't.
No, dude, I couldn't. I know he's been like decent, but I couldn't put him above Johnston.
Kind of a side topic here, but you kind of said it. Is JSN a top 5 receiver in the NFL?
I think you got to argue him up there, man. I mean, you got the two-headed monster with Jefferson and Chase. Got to argue Puka in there
healthy
too.
CD, maybe healthy CD.
Sorry, I completely blanked on CD there for some reason.
Yeah, I think I would put JSN there. I'd put JSN in there, dude. He's been better than Amon-Ra this year. He's been better than Nico. He's been way better than AJ Brown. Right now, he's playing like the best receiver in the league.
Yeah, but you still have to give those other guys.
Exactly. There. You still have to, and he's not over Jefferson and Chase yet. No. But you can right now argue him at number 3. You really can, like, just the way he's playing. But problem is with JSN or the Seahawks, come playoff time, they don't target anybody else on that offense. Like, Cooper Kupp has been invisible this year. And
I mean, I've been saying that all year though, and it keeps working.
Exactly. But once you face like a Eagles in the playoffs, or like even like the Lions when they could scheme up just for JSN, the offensive line's terrible still, and the run game's inconsistent, partly due to the offensive line, and they're for some reason still playing Zach Charbonnet. He
gets every goal line carry, dude.
He's just an inefficient player.
Feel bad for Kenneth Walker. The guy can't score a touchdown unless he runs it from the 30.
I know. But yeah, perfect list by Sean there. Got a little worried about the Wan'Dale thing. So we're gonna be doing a lot more like those like little segments there just to make it more fun. So we're not just being like straightforward the whole time, but we'll be doing a lot more of those. And make sure to go follow our TikTok. It's a great time to shout it out. It's just the same name as the podcast, the Monday Morning Quarterback Show. We're going to be posting a lot of clips.
Yeah, we're going to start putting more clips up there. We got to get consistent up there.
Yeah. So on to our last segment here, everyone. This one's going to be pretty fun. NFL Midseason Awards. Now, just please, everyone that's watching this, take this into account. It's midseason. This isn't who we think's going to win it. Like, in 9 weeks, it's who we think are the award winners right now, which is how every thing's settled right now. So we're going to start the doozy MVP. Sean, I'll let you start.
People are going to hate me for this. I have Mahomes. He is playing. Say what you want about him. I know it is boring. I'm a Bills fan, and Lord knows I hate the Chiefs more than almost anything, but Mahomes is playing like damn near perfect right now.
Yeah.
He has, I want to say, around 2,100 yards.
Yeah, he does. I saw his stats. 17 touchdowns,
I think he has like 4 picks, and 2 of those were tipped off the hands of Kelsey. Like,
yep.
His stats could be even better than they already are. And I don't know, man. He's playing at a different level right now, and I just think he's been the only reason the Chiefs even have a winning record, just given the fact that they've been down so many targets throughout the year too.
100%. I mean, Sean, the thing is, like, if people argue with you on that, like, I know it's not what people want to hear, but it's like, you're just speaking.
You can't
facts.
argue it either.
You're,
I mean,
you're
like,
just,
there's other guys that are deserving of it as well.
you're just speaking. Yeah, exactly. Like you're just like, again, like for the NFL, like nobody really wants to hear that, but like he's been it.
Like I just see in comment sections of like the odds being the highest for Mahomes. And people are like, "How is Mahomes number one?" It's like, dude, you have to give him his respect. I don't care how boring it is.
100%. I don't know if me and Sean actually have different answers here. I'm going with Drake May. And let me explain my reasoning. I kind of told you guys this a little bit last time, but Drake May is the Patriots have won 8 games combined in their last 2 years, right? And like I said, Patriots, shout out to Mike Vrabel. He's made unbelievable moves throughout the offseason. But Drake May is the reason this team is 6-2. He's had over 100 QBR. He's breaking records left and right. He's the best completion percentage as a second-year quarterback. Him and Drew Brees, that's it. Breaking Tom Brady's records. 15 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, 2 rushing touchdowns, 250-plus rushing yards. Leading this Patriots team to a 6-2 record. The number one spot in the AFC East, which I would never have predicted. I think I predicted at this point in the year we would maybe be 3-4, 4-3, or 4-4, however many games we've played. The problem is with Drake, I think there will be a little bit of bias with Mahomes because just the name, and it's Patrick Mahomes, unfortunately. But if we're just talking about strictly how each player is playing, I truly think Drake May is the MVP of the NFL right now because I think he is the most valuable player to any team's success right now. Just not that I don't even know if I'm wording that right, but he's the sole reason the Patriots are 6-2 is basically what I'm trying to say, which is incredibly valuable. And he's taken an incredible second-year leap. And Mahomes, Sean, like you said, 100% you can argue it's Patrick Mahomes, but
there's a few guys. I mean, you could argue Baker as well.
I think right now it's easily between Mahomes and May. Baker's had a couple down weeks, and I don't know. I just think it's between them two. And would it surprise me if Josh Allen turns up these next couple weeks and puts himself right back there? No, but no offense to Josh. It's either he hasn't had the volume or he just hasn't been like the Josh
playing good right now,
like the Josh Allen that we know. So I'm going with Drake May. Sean, who's your offensive player of the year?
Jonathan Taylor. I mean, the guy's just been absolutely dominant. I think he's had 3 straight weeks with 3 straight weeks with 3 touchdowns. I mean, like people want him to win MVP, which I don't think it's going to happen because if a non-quarterback was going to win MVP, it would have been Barkley last year, given he had over 2K. But Jonathan Taylor he's the engine that keeps the Colts offense going. I mean, he's just been unreal. I think he opens up the pass game for the Colts really well, just being able to establish the run like that. I know their offensive line's been incredible too, but Jonathan Taylor's just been unreal.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we don't really need to talk about this one that much. It's easily Jonathan Taylor, and it's not particularly close.
I would have argued Puka if he didn't get hurt.
Exactly.
Well, Puka was playing unreal.
But Sean, I just want to tell you about this stat real quick. Do you know how many touchdowns Jonathan Taylor's on pace to have this year?
Isn't it like 28?
28 touchdowns. If he won't get there.
That might happen.
I don't think he'll get 28 because like that's like really not sustainable. But if he ends up getting there, that's probably going to be more than 25 quarterbacks in the NFL.
How many does he have total?
He's 14 rushing right now, and I know he has a couple receiving. So, actually, that's a good question. Let me look that up real quick. But,
so he'll end up with over 20 probably.
It's not even like this is like it's genuinely not even a question, like that he's this. Like, if you argue anyone else, your opinion is invalidated because he has 16 total touchdowns, 2 receiving. So he's on pace for 32 touchdowns this year as a running back.
Insane, bro.
So that's like numbers from like the 1990s when like Emmitt Smith was like running down people's throats. But that's easily Jonathan
on rookie mode, bro.
Exactly. It's easily Jonathan Taylor. I know Daniel Jones has been great, but Jonathan Taylor is the best player on this football team by a mile, and he's one of the best players in the NFL. Defensive player of the year, Sean, who do you got?
Yeah, I got Myles Garrett. I mean, coming off a 5-sack game against Matt's Patriots, he's consistently shown that he's the most dominant defensive player. I think Surtain being out multiple weeks is going to hurt his odds as well. But I mean, I think Myles Garrett's just been the most dominant.
Myles Garrett might be one of the best players in NFL history. I mean, it's not might. He is. Like, he's broken like Lawrence Taylor's records of sacks before turning 30. And there's just zero signs of him ever slowing down. Like, I don't think I can picture Myles Garrett having a bad season within the next like 3 or 4 years, even though he's almost 30 years old. I mean, I want to say I feel bad for him, but part of me doesn't, because he had the choice to not sign there. But I mean, the dude has, I think, like 11 sacks already this year.
And insane, bro. You could argue Nick Bonito too, because he's had an
I agree,
year.
But I mean, Myles Garrett he's the best. If you could argue he's the best player in the NFL, like he probably is the best player in the NFL overall. Just the guy's a freak. I mean, put him on any contending team. He legitimately, like, if you put him on like a fringe wildcard team, he wins you 2 games single-handedly by himself. Like, if the Browns had a competent offense, then
like average,
he would have single-handedly been the reason why they won that game. But obviously, it's a disaster there in Cleveland, because every time the Patriots got in the red zone, Myles Garrett seemed to have sacked Drake May and just held us to a field goal solely because of him. He's getting chipped by Hunter Henry, and he's still getting around Hunter Henry and either Will Campbell or Morgan Moses or whoever. He got around the whole friggin' offensive line. He has this Euro step, and me and Sean talked about it. He's I forget who tracks this stuff. A former offensive lineman watches film on PFF, and he's watched Myles Garrett rep that exact same Euro step, and apparently he hasn't lost a single time this year on that rep. It's insane. It's not necessarily like a sack, but like when he does it, he doesn't lose.
This guy, yeah.
The guy runs a 4.6, and he's 280 pounds. Like, he outruns quarterbacks. He's
moving like that at his size is just insane.
He's like, the guy is not built.
He's almost 32, bro.
I know. Like, it's just, he's unbelievable, and he deserves it. Offensive rookie of the year, Sean.
Brutal offensive class.
Terrible.
Honestly.
Terrible.
I mean, if you would have asked me before the season, I would have said Genty, just because he was the most explosive in college. And I think the quarterback class is just embarrassing. And I don't think Cam Ward would have done. I was predicting Cam Ward to not have a good year just because it's the Titans.
The situation's horrendous.
Yeah, he doesn't have a line, doesn't have a receiver, doesn't really have a run game.
No.
But so it's obviously not him. Some people are saying Jackson Dart. Just, I think it's
too early. It's midseason.
A little bit of biased, because he has given the Giants some life. I am going with Emeka Egbuka though. I think that he's been an incredibly reliable guy out of the slot for Baker. I don't think he's ready to take that number 1 role over, because it seems like when Evans is out, he's not able to be as dominant. So he seems like more of like a guy who could kind of fly under the radar when a lot of
complimentary piece.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's the right word. He seems like the right kind of guy, to, I guess, compliment a guy like Mike Evans, in the slot. But he's had a great year. I mean, he's been super reliable for Baker. I think Tyler Warren's had a great start too. But I think if there was a year for a tight end to win it, it would have been last year with Bowers, and they didn't give it to him. So I'd say Egbuka, just given the fact that the quarterbacks of this class have been so horrible. It's Dart with a small sample size.
It's just funny when you compare the rookies last year on both ends. It's
We're incredible.
I mean,
the rookies were insane.
You had May, Daniels, Caleb, Bowers.
Knicks had a good year.
Knicks, literally, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison. I mean, you could go on. And the defensive side of the ball. I'm drawing blanks on literally everybody that was drafted last year. But
I'm trying to back you up. I can't think of anyone.
Yeah. I mean, of course I can't, but I mean, It's just last year's offensive rookie class was like a joke. It's like a video game pretty much. This year, I also have Emeka Egbuka. Um, it's kind of a quarterback award as well, but Cam Ward has like 5 touchdowns this year
It
and
can't
like
be Cam Ward. It cannot.
turns the ball over every game. And again, it's midseason. Jackson Dart's played like 4 games, so
Yep.
he hasn't. It's the sample size isn't big enough yet. And Sean, you brought up a good point. I think Emeka Egbuka was like the safest. I think we knew he was the safest option at receiver coming out, and he's been that and more. And Tet's had his moments. I do think he gets hurt a little bit by the quarterback play over there because I think Tet's a great player. But with Emeka, he's just going to replace Chris Godwin, and he's going to probably be better than Chris Godwin, as good as he was
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and because Godwin's older, injuries, whatever. But Emeka has been, beginning of the year, he was unbelievable. Like Sean said, he's cooled off a little bit. Baker also hasn't been great either, to be honest with you. And I think the loss of Bucky Irving's really hurt them because they can't really run the ball that well with Rashad White. So, but once they get healthy, Emeka Egbuka, and Jackson Dart could absolutely win it just because of how bad this class is. But right now, Egbuka, I still think could win it. And Tyler Warren, I think he gets affected a little bit by the position he plays because he's been really good this year. But yeah, I'm going with Emeka Egbuka. So defensive rookie of the year, Sean, who you got?
People aren't going to like this because he hasn't put up like the flashy numbers. I'm saying Abdul Carter.
Yep.
He has 32 pressures as a rookie. That ranks 11th as edge rushers.
Mm-hmm.
If this guy can like put it together and like finish his plays and like finish the quarterback like sacks, like he's going to be unreal.
Yep.
I mean, I think he's been able. I haven't like watched like in-depth Giants games, but based off like these stats, I would just assume like he's drawing a lot of attention, and just Brian Burns is the guy that's been able to finish for him.
Yeah, I mean, he wins consistently, dude.
Right? I mean, Abdul, I want to say he's like top 10 in hurries too. Like he's getting to the quarterback, he's beating his guys consistently. If he can just like finish a few more than what he only has 1 sack, but I mean, if he finished 3 or 4 more of those sacks, like we'd be like we'd be raving about this guy.
100%. Yeah, I think, again, if you look at his like just sack numbers, you'd be a little disappointed, but it's not that. He's just unbelievable.
The thing is with defensive linemen too, you can't just look at sacks.
No,
like, bro,
exactly.
They do so much more. I'm not sure how good Carter's been in the run game. I didn't really check that out, but
yeah,
in terms of just strictly pass rush, which is his game, like he's been very good. He has the 11th most pressures for edge rushers.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Sean. Would it surprise me if Abdul Carter ends up with like close to 10 sacks at the end of the year? Because I could see him having a game where like he just like goes for like 3 sacks in a game and then he just soars off from there. He's that good. And he hasn't been a disappointment one bit. That Giants D line is legit. I went with Jahad Campbell, kind of a safer pick. Again, just another steal by Howie Roseman. I'm not too sure how he fell to 32, sorry, in the draft. No,
Bengals could have used him.
Yeah, no, they could have. I think every team from 20 to 31 could have used him, but
yeah.
Genuinely, this guy's an absolute stud. Like just to keep it a stack, he's an absolute stud. You have Zach Bond, him. I mean, what a duo. He's so good in the run game, and he's a pretty solid coverage linebacker as well. I mean, Jahad Campbell.
You could just use him in any situation. Bro.
Exactly.
You could rush the passer too.
I was gonna say you can line him up on the edge too. Like he's just, I don't know how he did it. He just feels like another Nakobe Dean, Nolan Smith kind of guy, but like a little bit better than both of them.
It's not even how he did, bro. It's just like,
I'm saying
the other GMs doing? Where
exactly.
Let him fall to the Eagles. Like they just won the Super Bowl and they just got one of the best defensive players out of the.
And it was like their biggest need, too. Like
I know, like outside Zach Bond, linebacker was man.
Like how does he fall to the Chiefs? I mean, to the Eagles, it's just beyond me. But it's really between him and Abdul Carter. I don't really think there's anybody that close to him. It's like maybe Nick Emmanwori. But again, just me and Sean were talking about this. And we knew this going into the draft. It's just not a good draft class, like at all. Like it's really not. Compared to the 2024, it's a complete wipe. But Yeah, it's very clearly either Jihad Campbell or Abdul Carter, and I went Jihad. Shaw went Abdul Carter. Coach of the year, Sean.
Vrabel. You're gonna like. I mean, I mean, you upgrade from Gerard Mayo, who just horrible.
Yeah.
Like being able to turn, and I know that the Pats had a ton of salary cap to be able to add a bunch of guys. They had a great draft as well, but like just having that leadership of a coach that can turn a 4-13 team into a now the 2 seed in the AFC halfway through the season, bro. And I know that there's internal growth with guys like May and stuff, but like, dude, just you need that leadership. You need that coach. You mentioned you say this term a lot when you talk about coaches, but he's a leader of men. Like he leads that
he
team.
is. Yeah.
Like they all have so much trust in him, and not single handedly, but like majority him turned the culture around there. And
Yes.
everyone would love to play for that guy. I think he's turned that. Unfortunately, he's turned that organization back into a potential powerhouse.
And Sean, another thing too with Vrabel is like the guys he brought in have been unbelievable. Like Josh McDaniels could win coordinator of the year. He's been unbelievable for May. It's like Drake May's been unbelievable, but you have to take into account the offensive coordinator, and Josh McDaniels has been just unbelievable for Drake. I went with Shane Steichen actually.
That's good too, though. That's
it's. I think it's really between those two. I think Ben Johnson was there at the beginning, but I don't know.
I think at Hot Again, maybe you could argue him, but
I actually read this about Caleb, Sean, just to get back to the Bears really quick about Ben Johnson. A big problem with Caleb is it doesn't look like he truly wants to buy into the offensive system that the Bears want to do. He kind of just wants to do everything on his own.
I can see that, yeah.
I've heard it from a lot of Bears people that, I trust just on social media. He doesn't want to buy into the system. He just wants to make plays like college pretty much, where he just runs around for 10 seconds and then
which he does a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. And just makes it, sometimes connects on a crazy throw. But back to Shane Steichen. It's so close because Vrabel turned a franchise around, because we were just in the dumps. The Colts were just stuck in.
Steichen kind of did too, though, in a way.
The Colts were just
the Colts weren't as bad.
They were in mediocrity, but for me, it's just all Daniel Jones. Like this guy was not a starting level quarterback, and he
wasn't even
I'm sorry, quarterbacks don't just magically turn into good players. Like it's coaching, and Shane Steichen has drawn up a great offense for him. He's included all these receivers and. I know what you're gonna say. He was a safety last year. I knew it.
He's a safety on a practice squad less than a year ago.
Yep. And now he's a top 7 MVP candidate right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with Shane Steichen's play calling and just offense in general. And shout out to Daniel Jones. He's improved a lot of his game.
Yeah, this isn't meant to take anything away from him.
No, he looks way calmer in the pocket. He doesn't really have he doesn't escape the pocket as much, but he looks great. But it's a long part to do with Shane Steichen, and Mike Vrabel and Shane Steichen to me are neck and neck. I just don't want to sound like that biased Pats fan that picks everything for the Patriots. And I do think Shane Steichen does deserve the award just because of how impressive he's been, especially with the offensive line too. Like letting go Will Fries and Ryan Kelly, and they've been better without those two. So just a great job by the Colts in rebuilding
the Giants effect on Daniel Jones.
It is, but dude, he was legit bad. He was bad, dude. Like it's not just him magically getting better in 7 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Every time I think of him with the Giants, I think of him scrambling and just falling.
Yeah,
tripping over himself when he had a touchdown.
I think of that and like opening game of last season, just throwing a pick right to Andrew Van Ginkel, and I'm like, the Giants season it's gonna be a long year for them.
It wasn't long for him.
No. Protector of the Year, new award this year. So Sean, who you got?
Yeah, I just got the simple one, Penei Sewell. I mean, if you watch Lions games, like Lions fans will agree with this. Like he's probably the most athletic lineman in the NFL. Like you watch him in the run game. That dude is sprinting downfield to make blocks for guys like Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
Like He like, bro, like sometimes he looks faster than
He's
their running
300. He's like
backs.
330 pounds, by the way.
Something like that. But like, bro, he is moving downfield, like making blocks at like the first down marker. It's unreal. I don't think that there's really a. I mean, obviously, there's other linemen that make a huge impact, but not like him, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. I went with Quentin Nelson, another Colt. I mean, he's been unbelievable this year. I know PFF grades don't mean everything; they're pretty inaccurate sometimes, to be quite honest with you, Sean. But he's the number one run blocking guard in the NFL, and he's just the number one overall grade in the NFL for all guards. And he had kind of a down year last year, but he's completely turned it around this year. He's one of the main reasons why Jonathan Taylor has been so good, just parting the seas. He's so strong. He's such a good base. He's a really fun lineman to watch, which sounds kind of weird because he's an offensive lineman, but um, Quentin Nelson to me, Penei Sewell, you could argue that dude is like Penei Sewell is one of the most athletic players in the NFL, which sounds kind of weird because he's a lineman, but it's like
Yeah, but if you watch
dude,
him,
like
bro, like,
if
dude,
like okay, like you try to move like that when you weigh 330 pounds, like dude, that guy, Sean, you're right. He like outruns his running back sometimes. Like sometimes he runs a little too fast and misses blocks, like that one clip against the Bucks, but he's pretty awesome. But Quentin Nelson, kind of a more boring pick, but to me, he's been a very big part of that Colts offense as a guard for them. And then last award we're gonna go over is comeback player of the year.
yeah, I got Dak for this one. I mean, a lot of people are gonna say Daniel Jones, but the way that I think of comeback player of the year is a guy coming back from like a setback, like an injury or like some sort of
Yeah.
like off the field struggle or something. Daniel Jones literally just like
He wasn't good.
he got
He
cut
just,
from
he
his
just
team
wasn't
and just
good.
wasn't good. So
Yeah.
I don't really think of that as a comeback. But I mean Dak's been unreal. Like obviously tore his ACL last year, wasn't playing good, but at the time that he did it, but it doesn't affect this year's award, obviously.
Mhm.
Um Coming off that injury, you usually see a lot of players kind of struggle
Yeah.
just because coming off a torn ACL, I mean, it's
Wait, was it an ACL or was it an ankle injury?
or was it Achilles? I might be wrong.
I think it was like an ankle. I forget. Hold on, but
Doesn't
it doesn't matter. It's a horrible
yeah,
injury.
doesn't matter. Like he was out for the rest of the season, and he's come back this year, and he's playing like an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's another one of those guys we didn't even mention him when we were talking about MVP. Like you could completely argue him as the MVP. I just don't think he's going to get many votes because I don't really think the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs.
No.
So, yeah, that's my guy. I would take him over Daniel Jones just because I think his comeback makes more sense than Jones's.
It was a hamstring injury. I remember the tendon like disconnected from the bone. Just like,
Oh
jeez.
yeah.
It's an
I
absolute.
don't know why I thought it was an ACL.
I mean, it's
Season
still
ending. I just thought
absolutely
ACL.
horrible injury, but
Yeah,
yeah,
no doubt.
I got Dak as well. I mean, he's the only reason this Cowboys team isn't like literally 0-8
Dude,
because of
imagine they didn't have him.
how bad their defense. Like it is so bad. Like their defense is so bad. Like it's so hard to watch. Their corners suck. We talked about them last time. Their linebackers, it's like they're just and their coach, just to cap it off, is an offensive minded coach. Dak is the only thing holding this team. And shout out to CD and George Pickens. They're awesome. But Dak Prescott is the only thing holding this team even afloat a little bit. Like Sean said, Daniel Jones just sucked. It wasn't an injury. He just wasn't good. Whereas Dak's coming back from a terrible hamstring injury. And he's, besides last game, he was terrible last game. He's had a pretty perfect season up to then.
Yeah, but before that, I want to say he had 3 or 4 straight games with 3 touchdowns and no picks.
Yeah, so it's just every stat for Dak's been incredible this year. You could throw out every stat, and the Cowboys' offense is good. Their defense is not, and Dak is a sole reason for the Cowboys even staying even firmly competitive in some of these games, which it doesn't seem like they should be at all. So my comeback player of the year is Dak, and Daniel Jones. It wouldn't surprise me if he won it, just because the record that might play into it a little bit towards the end of the year. But
And the storyline.
exactly. But if we're just doing mid-year awards right now, I think it's Dak just because of everything we said. But
I think it was funny. I was watching the Cowboys game, and I don't know if you heard Tony Romo say this, but he's like, Yeah, Matt Eberflus, he's kind of got this defense headed in the right direction. It's like, dude, they faced the Commanders with Luke McCaffrey as their wide receiver one, bro. Like, they were not back on track. And then they
No,
proceeded to give
dude.
up 44 to the Broncos.
Trayvon Diggs also has like problems with them. I think like it's like an injury, but like I think he has like drama issues. Like he does not want to be there.
It's not good, anyways.
Trayvon Diggs has kind of turned into like how Stephon used to be a little bit. But he's not nearly as good as Stephon was. But just that organization's kind of turned into a joke on some parts. Like I said, like we just said, Sean, Dak, the only reason why this team isn't 7-1, but they wouldn't have scored 40 points against the Packers.
No, God, no.
But that's gonna wrap up episode 3 of the Monday Morning Quarterback Show. Make sure you guys tune in to our Thursday night show before the Thursday night football game or during it. We're gonna do something just for our pick'em that week.
We'll do it at some point that night.
Yeah, just we'll get it done just for our pick'em that week. We got a pretty exciting matchup this week on Thursday. Ravens Dolphins. Can't wait to watch that. Thursday night games are a joke, by the way. But
this is the Dolphins' second Thursday night game this year?
Dude, it's their third primetime game. They played the Jets on primetime. I don't understand, but
it's so horrible.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for episode 3. Again, make sure to go follow Sean on all his socials at Buffalo Banter on TikTok, Twitter, or X, whatever, and Instagram, and same with me. Sean posts amazing content, and we're definitely gonna start posting on the TikTok a lot more, just to get smaller clips out there for you guys. If you guys don't have the patience to watch a whole podcast, which I totally understand, but. Thank you guys for tuning in. And episode 4, we will be recording that on Thursday night for our pick'em this week. So thank you guys.
See you guys.